What is up, Jami? This is JamiroFan 2000 here with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About, where I talk about the 25-year musical history of the band Jamiroquai and the discography. Given that we just had another tour date finish up for Automaton's tour right now, I thought I'd record a video reflecting back on the last three Automaton tour dates since the last slew of cancellations back in May and June from Jamiroquai due to JK's recurring back injuries. And Jamiroquai has not disappointed on these last three tour dates. And I'm going to go through them one by one, and at the end of this video I will give you links to the summary posts on the Jamiroquai subreddit so you can check out compilations of all their live videos from Instagram, Facebook, and in some cases some bootlegs that have arisen after each tour date had transpired. So let's start off with the July 7th gig in the Cruilla festival in Barcelona, Spain. This was the first tour date back for Jamiroquai since those cancellations, as before mentioned, about JK's back. And Jamiroquai came out with a bit of a conservative set list. It wasn't as big and sprawling as the original set list that they had at the Roundhouse and La Salle Plele back in April, but you know, it was a very good performance, and it was very good to see JK coming back. But clearly, out of all these performances, it was clearly seen that by the second half of each of these gigs, JK's back was not holding up very well. But JK is a trooper, and he fought through it. It was a very good gig, and not to mention that the Cruilla Festival gig did have a full audio bootleg get out, which was streamed on a radio station. So be sure to check that out. Next gig we had was July 9th at the North Sea Jazz Festival in Rotterdam, Holland, I might say, in the Netherlands. And yeah, Jamiroquai continued with a bit of a conservative playlist, not too long. The first two tour dates since the layover were about around an hour and 20 to an hour and 30, which is kind of be expected because they were, you know, testing the waters to see how, or you might say testing the waters, you might say, on seeing how JK's back would hold up during the live performance. Yeah, it was another great performance, and a few songs from that set at the North Sea Jazz Festival did make their way onto a radio station streaming. Only like 3 or 4 songs, but still. The new version of Love Philosophy that Jamiroquai pretty much had been starting to play way back since the Roundhouse gig sounds absolutely amazing, and not to mention the new end they added to it. And then we come to yesterday's gig at in the Visarno Arena in Florence, Italy, or you might say Florence, Italy, for July 11th. And my goodness, this was Jamiroquai back to their live form that is pretty much known. They pulled a 2-hour gig, and not to mention this gig alone had some very, very notable things happen. We had the first live debut of the other Automaton track, We Can Do It, which was supposed to be played at the North Sea Jazz Festival, but ultimately got replaced with another song. And we also saw the return of Carla to the set list, which Carla was originally played, as I said, back at La Salle and the Roundhouse gigs, the first 2 tour dates of the Automaton tour back in March. So it was good to see Carla come back, and not to mention JK looked absolutely amazing. Sounded absolutely amazing. The band sounding just absolutely top notch. Not to mention, a lot of my fellow Jamiroquai fans went to this gig in Florence, Italy, and my friend Mrs. P, or Miss Jan Parsons, one of my oldest friends from the Jami, from Jamiro Talk, and of course the Automaton Facebook group, went to the gig, and a lot of other Jami members were there, and they got some great pictures. They actually met up with 4 members of the band. Cyril Brackett actually met up with the whole band, sans JK, one picture. But they met up with Paul Turner, Derek McKenzie, Rob Harris, and Matt Johnson for some sightseeing. But it was really cool. It absolutely looked and sounded like a traditional Jamiroquai gig, and not to mention was probably the first sold out gig of this tour for Jamiroquai. And you go back and watch those live videos in the summary post for the Florence show. My God, this was as big a crowd as Jamiroquai had probably back in Verona back in the 2000s and early 2000s. So I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Not to mention they sounded amazing. And that gig actually went back to the normal gig time length of about 2 hours. So I don't know where Jamiroquai is going to keep doing this conservative and the normal playlist, but you know, it was very understandable that they would go very conservative on their set list and make it as short as they could to accommodate, you know, JK's back, and it's been holding up really well. The band is sounding really awesome. These little, not to mention the encore for the Florence show had Virtual Insanity, which was really a perfect ribbon onto a present of a show that was. So everybody, it just, you know, that was Jamiroquai pretty much going back to their set list, back to how they're supposed to sound live. But not to say that the last 2 gigs were not bad. Those were actually very, very good too. So yeah, I just thought I'd record a video reflecting on those last 3 gigs. The 3 summary posts that I updated during the day of and the day after of each one of these gigs that I've just discussed are on the Jamiroquai subreddit, and I plan to keep doing summary posts the day before and the day of each tour date throughout July and August and September and all that. And I plan on updating them, having fans contribute their live videos there. They are active on Reddit on the comments section of each summary post, and I plan on updating it with my bootleg covers, which I've been doing bootleg covers for each one of these live tour dates, just because, you know, bootlegs could come up, so I figured I'd help out and make some bootleg fronts and back covers with the track lists and everything, and artwork, pictures from the gigs and stuff like that. So those are also accompanying the summary post, so you can check those out on the subreddit. I have put links to each one of those summary posts for Cruilla Festival, North Sea Jazz Festival, and Florence in the description of this video down below, so be sure to check those out. Enjoy the videos, enjoy the pictures. There's a lot of pictures to check out, a lot of great videos, and the performances have been absolutely top-notch. And be sure to keep your eyes on the Jamiroquai subreddit in this coming Friday for another summary post for the upcoming Pore Jazz Festival. I believe is going to be the next gig on the tour date, so be sure to check that out on the Jamiroquai subreddit. This is JamiroFan 2000, and I'll see you again really soon with another episode of JamiroFan Talks About. Bye, everybody, and thank you to all the fans who have been contributing videos online, social media, and Instagram and Facebook. Thank you all the fans who have been contributing pictures, live pictures on Instagram, Facebook, and where you choose to share your media. They have all been awesome, and please keep that all coming. Bye, everybody.